It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 23rd day of January, 2021. For the last year, many of us worldwide have been stuck literally at home. Can't go anywhere, can't be with anybody, can't be with family, can't be with friends because of COVID. This morning, we're going to talk to somebody that unfortunately has been positive for the last 3 weeks and is suffering with COVID and is still going through it. She's better now, but still, it's a pain in the butt. But today we're going to talk about COVID symptoms and side effects and all those kind of things. And down and dirty. I want to talk to her about it. I said, let's just be totally honest and let it roll. So it's with no further ado, of course, I'm going to introduce my guest. Sue Bryant's been with us a bunch of times before. She's an award-winning writer. She's the cruise editor of the London Times, which I always say that wrong.
That's all right.
And probably one of my top travel people that I just fell in love with the first time I met her. Sue, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News.
Thank you.
All right, so we go back 3 weeks ago. You tested positive. How did that all come about? How did it get started?
I had to work just before New Year, just around New Year. I had to, we had a big cruise special coming up and I was preparing a roundup of 20 new ships for 2021, I think it was. And I suddenly realized I couldn't concentrate at all. I mean, it was so hard and I thought, it's just Christmas fatigue or whatever, but it got worse and worse. And then my son, who's 21, said he didn't feel well and was going to get a test. And I thought, well, I better get a test as well. So then I started to get sort of aches and pains. And then I went to get a test, which is quite easy here. And that was on a Sunday. And then you have to wait 24 hours for the result to come back. But that day I really felt like fluey and I had aches and pains. I was shivering. I had a fever. And I mean, there's so much COVID around here. You just kind of know that that's it. It would have been highly unlikely for me to have caught flu. And then 24 hours later, sure enough, the text came from the NHS test and trace saying positive. So that means you've got to isolate at home for 10 days. So yeah, that's how it all began. But yeah, grim. Beginning of a roller coaster ride, that was.
All right, tell me about symptoms.
Oh, I had everything except the cough, strangely. Thank goodness. But I had aches and pains, shivering, fever, terrible headaches, weird muscle aches, like you've done a massive workout and you feel stiff, but I hadn't done anything except lie on the sofa. Stomach ache, terrible sinus problems, racing pulse, which was scary, and I still get that now. Dizziness, and then this complete fuzzy brain. I mean, just total. Couldn't focus on anything at all. So I think that owned exhaustion. I mean, permanent exhaustion. So, but the funny thing with COVID is most illnesses have a progression. So like if you've got a cold, you know what's going to happen and you know how it will end. But with this, it just keeps coming. More and more things kept coming in completely random order. There seemed to be no logic. One day I would have a stomach ache. The next day I would be shivering. And it's quite frightening because you have no idea what's coming next. So, I'm on the mend now. I'm definitely 3 weeks in. I'll get another test probably next week because 4 weeks after I should be able to test negative just for my own peace of mind. And I'm no longer infectious, but yeah, I mean, today I'm exhausted. I've got jelly legs and fuzzy brain, but it's Saturday.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest problems with my chemo treatments. I just call it fatigue, but fuzzy brain is it. I mean, you just, nothing sticks.
I know. You walk into a room to get something and you think, oh, why am I here? What have I?
How about emotions?
Emotions?
Yeah.
Well, obviously intense self-pity was one of them. I think the most annoying thing about having had COVID that shouldn't have been necessary was fear. because you don't have any idea what's coming, and because there is so much misinformation out there. And obviously, Googling symptoms is the most stupid thing you could do. And that's what I did nearly all day at the beginning. Google, Google, Google. What's coming next? Am I going to get sick? And then people say to you, oh, days 5 to 7 are the days you fall off a cliff. And then someone else says, oh, days 7 to 10 is what my doctor said is the danger zone. And that's the day you might get carted off to hospital. So you approach day 5 and then day 7 with dread. And then you hear about people who suddenly go downhill in the middle of the night. And because I was on my own, because my son isolated at his girlfriend's and my partner tested negative, so he stayed in his house. So I was alone. I kept one of my dogs and he took the other dog because I didn't want to be completely alone. But yeah, it's lonely. And although I found that I was chatting to people all day because everyone's bringing things and leaving them on the doorstep and phoning up and texting to see how I am. But nighttime was really scary because you just have no idea what's coming. So yeah, that was the biggest emotion, really.
What I've found, and obviously, we're in two totally different places, but I'll be sitting watching a comedy on television, and all of a sudden I'm crying. Oh my God, that's so sad. It's out of the clear blue.
No,
I even cried at watching a football game last week, and that's ridiculous.
I think you've got much more reason to be upset than I have. So no, I haven't found myself that sort of emotional. But yeah, self-pity. Some days I just whinge and moan all day. And I mean, but the one thing that actually really helped me one night was we watched some stand-up on TV and I was crying with laughter. And I felt so kind of better after that, just really laughing.
Yeah.
So, when you just can't stop. And I felt the next day I actually felt really good. And I thought, this is it. Endorphins is what's going to help this. So I was probably getting better anyway. But yes, someone said COVID is scary. Yes, COVID is scary.
Obviously, you would recommend anybody to keep doing what they're supposed to be doing. Absolutely. Wearing a mask, socially distance, all that stuff.
I followed all the rules. I was really good. I reckon I caught it in my local supermarket, which is a foul place. And the supermarkets here in Britain have got very sloppy before the current lockdown. And they weren't sanitizing the trolleys enough. They weren't social distancing in the shop. The staff were wearing their masks kind of like down here and people were pushing you out the way. And I think apparently quite a lot of people here have caught it in supermarkets. So I would just say, pick a quiet time to go and follow the rules, sterilize everything. I mean, just everything. And just don't mess with this because it's been no fun. It's, obviously some people get it very mildly. Some people are asymptomatic. I think my case is what's considered moderate. So beyond mild, but I haven't had to go to hospital. I mean, I haven't seen a doctor even. It's all or nothing here. You either do it on your own or you're in hospital. So I'm going to be at home.
All right. So what's ahead? You're going to be tested again next week.
Well, I mean,
let's assume you're back negative.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to get tested here.
Do you get back to normal?
I would like to know if it's gone, because some virus can stay in your body for a bit. I was going to say a few weeks ago, well, I'll need to start planning travel again soon, so I'll need to be negative, but we're not planning any travel for some time. So, because then you hear that people test positive for 3 months after getting it. And I thought, well, that would be very difficult for traveling. But we have free antigen testing here now. So you just get the result in an hour. And I'll probably go and get one of those in a week just to see for my own interest if I'm testing negative. So, I mean, you're allowed to stop isolating after 10 days here if you've not had a fever and not had to take any painkillers for 24 hours. So, and I'm way beyond that now.
And where do you stand on vaccines now?
Oh, yeah. Please, quickly. I mean, we're rolling out the vaccines here and I'm totally behind it. Absolutely. I will be there to have my vaccine as soon as I can. So, and some cruise lines now are saying no.
You don't get immunity from having the disease, at least full immunity.
I will have some immunity now, which is good. But it doesn't mean I'm going to behave any differently. It doesn't mean I'm going to behave like I'm never going to get COVID again. And yes, I will have the vaccine, but I'm in one of the last groups to get it of our first batch. So I'll probably get mine in like April, I think.
I'm hoping to get mine soon.
Well, you should be top.
One of the top
Yeah.
list, not the top, but close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
So
very much for.
I've got some people that are similar to my situation, have some appointments next week, so I'm expecting to hear from them pretty soon.
Yeah, some of my friends are getting it now. My mum and dad have had theirs, so
yeah.
I mean, they're rolling out really quickly here, which is good. It's one of the few things that's been done well by the government in this pandemic. So very few things, but I'm impressed by it. So yeah, onwards from here.
So you're looking forward to getting back to traveling like we are.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, who knows when it's going to be. But yeah, it really brings it home when you're stuck at home for, the best part of 3 weeks, not even going outside. It's like, oh, just get me somewhere to look at something else.
Are COVID body aches like my body aches? They're weird places. Like some days my hair hurts.
Oh.
Or some days my earlobe hurts. And I'm just...
They're
weird places.
They come and go. Yeah. I mean, I might have really, like today, my shoulder really hurts. And I think, well, what have I done? Have I been weightlifting? No, I haven't. It just hurts. Yeah. And they do come and go. And the sneezing, I've had a really sneezy COVID and I haven't stopped sneezing. So some days my stomach's really stiff from all the sneezing and my ribs. And I have been chucking everything at it. I've been taking decongestants. I've been taking antihistamines because I seem to be allergic to everything I eat all of a sudden, and painkillers, and just, I don't know, not holding back on the drugs.
Yeah.
Anything just to get rid of the symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
at least thank the good Lord, Sue, you've had a reasonably moderate case and not a bad case.
Yes, thank God. I mean, you do not want to end up in hospital here at the moment. It's that would be terrifying.
Yeah. Because
the hospitals are so overwhelmed here. But it's a bit strange because it's quite hard to get information unless you're really, really sick and on your deathbed. It's quite hard. I mean, I called my doctor and they didn't have time to talk to me because they were fully booked. And there's a National Health Service helpline. I rang them. They didn't have time to talk to me because they were fully booked. And you just want reassurance really to know, is this normal? Is it normal that my pulse rate's rocketed today? And is it normal about my blood oxygen saturation? So obviously I went online and bought all the gear. So I've got this baby. I'm sure lots of people have got one of these. So, and now they're saying here that everyone should invest in a pulse oximeter. So,
thank goodness they're not that expensive. At least they're not in the States.
Yeah.
So, yeah. One of the things I've got to get. So
I'm surprised you haven't got one.
I should have had one already.
Yeah. I bought mine online and it came the next day. I mean, and of course I use it obsessively. And then the minute the thing goes wrong, you start panicking.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, one of the things I would recommend to anyone at the moment before we're vaccinated is get prepared, get your COVID kit ready. Make sure you've got a decent thermometer. Make sure you've got a pulse oximeter. Bizarrely, we had loads and loads of frozen ice cubes of pure ginger juice in the freezer, which we made when the first wave of COVID came. So I've been having this fearsome ginger tea with honey and lemon. That's been really nice. And loads of, masses of painkillers. I've got everything under the sun that I can take. But luckily, if it wasn't here, people brought it for me. Oh, and of course, the other symptom, the fun one, is losing your sense of taste and smell, which is exactly what they say it will be. And that happened on day 2. I woke up and I couldn't taste anything, nothing. And I would say it's back to 50% now, 3 weeks in. But you don't feel hungry because food is not exciting. So, and people very kindly want to bring things for you to eat, but you think, please don't go to any trouble because I can't taste it.
Yeah. And mine comes and goes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I might have a meal that everything tastes good, and then I'll have a meal that this tastes awful. This tastes okay. This is awful. So it's really weird.
Yeah, I haven't had anything that's tasted different from how it's supposed to taste, just tasted of nothing. Luckily, the one thing I could almost taste for most of it was chocolate. So,
well, at least that's something.
Indulged in a fair bit of that. So.
All right, let's slide over here and see if anybody's got any questions for you this morning. Tom Henry, that's one of our regulars, Sue. He says, I've had a fuzzy brain for many years. Yes, Tom, we know.
Long COVID.
Fuzzy brain at all times, healthy. So Bonnie's with us down in Florida. She says, so glad you're doing better now. COVID is scary.
Thank you.
Bonnie's down there where they just don't seem to have enough vaccine to go around for all the people.
They've got sunshine, though. Think about vitamin D.
That'll help some, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Emily's with us from up in New York. Good morning, guys. She's just getting up, getting ready to go out and take care of some dogs.
Yep.
Bonnie stays at home.
Yep, I'm
all
having
her groceries delivered. Haven't been in a supermarket since last March.
Very good move. Yeah. Here it's definitely supermarkets that are one of the spreaders. So yeah, I drink Taylor's of Harrogate ginger tea. Very good. Yep, ginger tea is great. If you get the cough, I think ginger tea is amazing. So
one of the things, Sue, that one of my side effects from the chemo is my voice. It's completely shot. I'm tend to cough, which is not because I'm sick at all, but it's done something to my vocal cords. So my voice to me sounds hollow.
It sounds the same to me.
Yeah, but it's weird. So I want to cough all the time.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks when you're doing live stuff.
Yes.
So,
yeah, no, I'm very lucky not to have got the COVID.
Jason's
cough.
with us from up in Pittsburgh. Emily, hey Jason, how are you feeling with your second shot? He gets his second shot on Monday, y'all.
Congratulations.
While I'm going through chemo on Monday, Jason will be getting stabbed for the second time. Let's see. Bonnie says, I still have to wait until I can get my vaccine. We'll be 65 in May. Might be May before I can get an appointment. Is
Bonnie here or in the UK?
Yeah, Bonnie's in Florida.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Lakewood, Florida.
65s will be done in March or April here.
Yeah. A lot of our areas are opening up to 65s now, which I fall into that. I fall into the second category, because I'm 72. I'm not 75 yet.
But you've got a pre-existing condition, so
I've got conditions that add on. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm ready. As soon as they call me, I'll be there.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. People who don't want to have it, I think, for the wrong reasons, for weird reasons. I mean, we probably better not get into that now. But the cruise line starts saying you've got to be vaccinated to sail, then, which Saga are already saying here. It's going to be interesting.
I have a feeling we're going to get that. Yeah. I think we could probably get that way with the airlines.
Yeah. Some airlines are also saying it, aren't they?
Cruise lines. And of course, at least in the States here, we've got new CDC people. So we don't know yet how much and how things are going to change.
Oh, maybe they'll be more sympathetic to cruising then.
Well,
or less.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, we're getting going here. I reckon we'll be sailing here April, I would think. Certainly river cruising, I hope, would start again. That's what started up first last time. But all of us here are saying we're probably going to be focusing on cruising in Europe a lot this year. Because for you it might open up a lot later, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to be. My best guess is midsummer here.
Ooh.
Before we start at all.
Yeah, we'll be.
Nikki's with us down in Jacksonville, Florida. Morning, all. Bonnie, we stay home too. We're making lists of things we want to do when this is over.
Yes, me too.
And it's a new definition to bucket list, that's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Lists of. I'm starting now. I keep making lists of ships that are launching and what we should be covering this year, and then of course everything gets pushed back. So, but now I don't know. There's a couple I think that are actually realistic to assume will happen. So I'm starting to make some proper. We're not booking anything, obviously, but making some proper cruising plans that we can cover in the paper. So, yeah, hopefully, COVID-free, full of antibodies.
Yeah. Jason's talking about his second shot. Hopefully it doesn't kill him.
I should think not.
Oh, absolutely not. No, Jason's in the health industry, so
Right.
that's tongue in cheek.
Yes.
So, Nikki says Florida opened up much too soon and people aren't required to wear masks. Better for me to stay at home. Yeah, we still got to get back. I mean, get rid of the political crap on masks is one of the main things.
It's so weird, isn't it? It's so strange. I mean, people are pretty good here at wearing masks. And I hear that in certainly in New York and Washington, where I've got friends, they say people are very compliant and wearing masks all the time. But then there's other places where they're not wearing masks.
Yeah.
People are pretty good here. I mean, obviously, you always hear about the ones that won't wear a mask and say they're immune and not immune, what's the word? Exempt, and then make a big deal out of it. But I think people are fairly compliant here. So, but yeah, it's not such a political issue here. It's just like, you don't want to get COVID. And let me say, anyone who thinks I don't need a mask, take my advice, wear it.
Absolutely.
I wore a mask. I mean, I didn't take any risks not wearing masks and I still got sick. So yeah, avoid.
Bonnie asked, do they test for the virus before each chemo? No, they don't. Every time I have to go into the hospital for something, they test for it. So the last, would have been the biopsy test. I've been tested 4 times.
Amateur, I've been tested all the time.
Don't test you before the chemos because that's not actually in the hospital. It's in the cancer center. So
it's the same.
I don't have to go through that at least.
I'm getting used to it now. I've done so many because I was on a lot of ships last year. There were all sorts of tests.
Of course, Nikki says speedy recovery. One of my friends, is that Bonnie? One of my friends went to the ER with 103 temperature. Wow.
Yeah, and sent him home.
That's sad, and people have to take care of themselves. Is awful.
Well, to be honest, the best thing was just curling up and lying on the sofa. You're right.
So,
and I mean, it wasn't that bad being alone. It was quiet and peaceful, and you don't have to think about anyone else or worry.
Well, I haven't had to be alone here at home, but of course, most of the stuff. I mean, you can't have visitors. Like when I go for the chemo, that's 4 hours. So, you're there. The nurse comes in, and she changes the bag out about 10 times.
Yeah.
And the doctor comes in for about 5 minutes. But I mean, other than that, and one of the most difficult nights that I had was in the emergency room, and they couldn't see me. I had catheter issues, and I literally sat 9 hours in an emergency room without being seen. That was awful.
Oh God.
So,
well,
but anyway, thankfully that was only once.
Let's hope that doesn't happen again.
So, anyway, well, that's going to about wrap us up. I don't see any more questions for you, Sue. And, yeah, Sue and I both said starting into this that because we both get fatigued pretty easy, that we probably wouldn't be doing any hour show today. So,
no, well, I'm sitting by the fire, so it's not too bad here. I've taken the dogs for a walk, which was really nice, but got very tired. So,
all right. Well, listen, Sue, that's going to wrap us up for this version of Travel and Cruise Industry News. Of course, we wish you good Godspeed and good health and get back to normal and
you
get back to going on ships and showing us where we need to be. So,
as
again,
soon as
Sue,
possible.
thank you so much. And to all you guys that are watching out there, as always, guys, stay safe, wear your masks, socially distance, do all those things, get your vaccines when your number comes up. So all of us can go on a cruise someday real soon. So that's going to wrap it up from here, guys. We'll see you next time. Love you guys. Love y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.